What up, gang? Welcome to the channel. I'm back with another video, man. Listen, do me a favor. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing to the channel if you get any value from the content that I post. And if you like the video, like the video. All right? Listen, man. Today I just want to talk about content creation. So recently I was asked a question. Somebody asked me, what cameras do I use when I'm recording my content? And that just made me think about something that I feel like you guys need to know. Those of you who are considering starting a YouTube channel, I just want to give you a little bit of advice. And this is for people who have W-2 jobs. If you're a W-2 employee and you're working for a company, this advice is really for you. If you are an entrepreneur and you work for yourself, creating content, some of this stuff that I might say may not apply to you. So, listen, if you're getting ready to start a YouTube channel, first I would say go for it. But also, I think the first thing you should do is to read your employee handbook or get with somebody in management or HR to find out whether or not creating content is prohibited where you work, and just posting online about the job that you're doing while you're working for that company. I think that's very important. Because, listen, a lot of companies have specific rules and regulations and company policies as it relates to posting things online. And so, you know, you really want to be well informed about those policies so you don't cross any guidelines that could get yourself in some trouble. I think that would be the first thing that I would do. Secondly, if you do move forward with creating content, man, just use common sense, right? You know, everything isn't meant for social media. And you got to understand the outreach that YouTube specifically has. You know, I can remember when I first started my YouTube channel, it's probably been about 3 years ago now. When I started, I didn't tell anybody I had a YouTube channel. None of my co-workers, any of that. Not that I was trying to hide anything. To me, it just wasn't anything that I, you know, thought was important. I was just creating videos and posting them on YouTube. I didn't really think anything of it. It wasn't really a big deal to me. I remember getting a call from my management team when they found out I had a YouTube channel. This is, you know, after I started growing a little bit, more people started to watch the channel. That was somebody in leadership that worked for the company that I worked for in a totally different state that ran across my videos. And that person ultimately reached out to some people and, you know, found out who my management team was and asked them basically, you know, did they know about the channel, I guess, or is this one of your guys? And, you know, from there, one thing led to another. My manager watched my content after that. Both my managers. I heard some regional managers, and you know, the list goes on and on and on. But that all came about from somebody else coming across my content. I didn't say anything to anybody. And that just goes to show that anybody can come across your content. You just never know who's watching. So you guys got to be mindful of that when you're creating content, and just be smart about some of the things that you post online. It doesn't even have to be somebody that works for the company that you work for. It can be a friend of somebody who works for the company that you work for. And if you're speaking very negatively, if you're unprofessional and you're just doing things that make the company look bad, that's probably going to come back to bite you. You got to understand, when you work for a company, you as an employee, you're a reflection of that company. So you really have to have that self-awareness to know that there's just certain boundaries that you don't want to cross. And that's if you don't want to jeopardize your employment. If you're someone who doesn't care whether or not you lose your job, then this advice that I'm giving you now is it really doesn't apply to you. You got to understand the consequences when you're posting different things online. If you feel like a video getting likes, getting views, getting the attention, because you got to understand, with social media, drama, sales, negativity sells, and a lot of people like to hear controversial things online. It just is what it is. Those are the type of videos that get a lot of views and a lot of clicks. When people are really bashing certain things, doesn't matter if it's a person, a company, etc. The list goes on and on and on. So a lot of people like that. And if you're a content creator, you are aware of that. Again, it's just all about being smart, because creating content, depending on what you post, depending on what you say, you can lose your job. You can be terminated. If you're doing a job, particularly trucking is what I'm talking about right now, but this really goes for any job that you guys have out there, man. If you're doing a job and your intention is to educate some people and just show some people different things about your job that they may not be aware of, I think that's a good thing. Because YouTube and social media in general is a resource for education, entertainment, and a lot of people utilize it. They come on this platform to learn different things. I know I've definitely went on YouTube to figure out how to fix something around my house. So it's definitely a great resource to use in that manner. But the same thing goes with trying to find out different things about certain jobs that you may be interested in. What do? We go on YouTube, type it in, and see if anybody is sharing their experience about said job. So, YouTube can be a great thing if used the right way, but it also can cause a lot of harm if you're not careful. You don't have to take, my recommendation. Do your own thing, but just understand, once you put the information online, it's out there. And also, word of mouth is very powerful as well. So people talk. People talk. And you guys will be surprised if you knew how many higher ups and people in corporate come across these videos. They're not going to say anything in the comment section or anything like that. Once the word gets out, and you know, you've put out a video that can be detrimental to the company, you might get a phone call. And you know, that's just how it goes, because they understand how powerful social media is. The influence that content creators have is powerful. So you know, if you have a lot of viewers that are watching a content creator and they're listening to some of the things that they're saying, and they may not know the truth because they're on the outside looking in, so you can easily say something that may not be true, and people watching can believe what you're saying and kind of run with that. So again, you know, it's just all about being responsible, and just being, you know, smart about some of the things that you say and do as it relates to social media. I personally don't think losing your job behind a video is worth it to me. But again, everybody doesn't think that way. So, you know, don't let people in the comment section influence you or hype you up or provoke you into saying some things that could cost you your job. Again, this is only for the people who care about their job and losing their job and their income that comes with it. You know, if you got a family to take care of and you got financial responsibilities and you rely on your job to take care of those obligations, then be smart. Be smart, man. It's, you know, at the end of the day, it's not worth it. So that's one piece. But I think the second piece is, you know, if you work for a company and you have a bad experience working for that company, I don't think everything needs to be talked about online. I don't think you have to share everything, right? Everybody's experience is different. There may be somebody that's working for that company that enjoy that company and you know, is having a totally different experience. So, you know, it's not a one-size-fits-all type of thing when it comes to these different jobs. I think probably, well, let me just say this. If you get online and you bash a company that you had a bad experience with, you may say, look, I don't care, I never plan on working for that company again. Okay, cool. But what about another company coming across that video and heard you trashing the company that you just came from? What do you think they're gonna think about you, right? It could be a recruiter, it could be a member of management, it could be another employee, it could be any one of those. But I think that is gonna speak to your character if you get online and you start trashing these companies that you had a bad experience with. And you know, you call it exposing a company. I don't know if the company is the only thing getting exposed here when you make that type of move and you make that type of decision. I think it also exposes you and shows what type of person you are. I think the wisest thing to do in that situation is just move on. I just think just move on. You know what I mean? If you want to talk about it, your experience, you could talk about it, but I just don't know if the right thing to do is to talk about it publicly. Because again, once you put this information out there, it's out there. So be strategic about how you move online and different things that you post. To me, it's just not worth it at the end of the day. But that's just me. You know, I think a little bit differently than a lot of people. You guys do what you do at the end of the day. We're all grown. At least most of the people that watch my channel. I do have some teenagers that watch the channel in their early or late teens, early 20s. But in my mind, that's still considered grown, right? again, man, just use common sense. Just use common sense. You are a reflection of that company, like I mentioned earlier. So I think there should be some sense of professionalism when you're creating content, particularly when you're talking about the company. If you're talking about, you know, something personal about your life or some of the things that you do outside of the job that you have in the company that you work for, I think that's totally different. You know, no company can't control what you post online outside of the company. Now, again, a lot of companies do have policies in place as it relates to social media. So if you're talking about the job that you're working for, of course, you have to stay within those guidelines and just be careful not to cross any boundaries there. But in terms of what you post on a personal level outside of that company, a company can't control that. Listen, man, that's all I got for you guys. Let me know in the comments what you think about this video. If you have any comments that you would like to add to what I said, definitely drop it down below. And look, man, until the next video, I got to get back to this workout. I'll see you guys on the next one, man. Y'all take care. Peace.